like for instance, like you're spraying chemical cleansers around, right? And if you don't, like, you got to make sure to read your labels because your chemical disinfectants have very specific use instructions. So like even on a bottle of Lysol underneath your bathroom sink, if you look at it, it says spray and leave wet for 30 seconds to kill salmonella. But then it also says spray and leave wet for 10 minutes to kill aspergillus. So if it evaporates in 5 minutes, you got to go back and reapply to make sure you meet that contact time. Otherwise, you're not really killing the things that you're trying to kill.
We're back at Flower Expo in Michigan, Lansing, Michigan, which is a really good spot in Michigan because it's right in the middle. Demetri Downing here with Meat Unshackled with our co-host on the mic.
Hey guys, right here in the background,
She's
Destiny
like
Blanco.
Ed McMahon for this show. So we're pleased to introduce you, Jason Hadley. Hadley's a good last. That's a strong last name.
Thanks.
The Hadley family, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Sounds like something from like a New England movie.
The Hadleys of Lower Urenberg, if you will.
Oh, there you go. Look, he's a Hadley. I wish I was a Hadley too. But Hadley brought. I'm having a very bad day, but he brought me a toy to play with. So it's like lunch and learn.
Now it's a better day.
Give Demetri a toy to play with. I can't. If I just play with that toy, I mean, we're gonna get it. It's not really a toy.
Yeah.
Can I break that? I mean, not like. I mean, it's
Like intentionally
not
or
intentionally. Like if I'm messing with it, am I gonna break it?
No.
Okay,
I
let
think
me look at it.
yeah.
I won't throw it down. So let's go. So Hadley, you are Lighthouse Worldwide Solutions.
Correct. Yeah, Lighthouse Worldwide Solutions is a supplier to the clean room industry. We supply like real-time particle monitoring systems, but mostly for like the pharmaceutical, semiconductor, like those clean room industries, you know, where they wear the bunny suits.
Oh, yeah, I knew this was going to make me happy, Dusty.
Yeah.
This is a Star Trek. This is the beginning. This is the tricorder when they land
Right.
on a planet. I mean,
You're not wrong.
checking this. So like when Spock or McCoy jump out, like check to see if it's breathable air.
You're actually not far off, actually. That's what you're holding
This
there.
is the beginning of the future. This is why I love the cannabis industry. Because right now, this is probably a cutting edge of cannabis. We're getting into that eventually. But 500 years from now, this is going to be the origins of what people use to explore other planets. So now tell us what you're doing in the cannabis industry with this thing.
So what you're holding is it's what's called a handheld particle counter.
Yes.
And
what's it called in Star Trek?
In Star Trekies, I believe it would also be called a handheld particle counter,
Okay.
tricorder, doohickey. Don't be a red shirt guy wearing it.
While you tell us about the doohickey, I'm going to Google what it's actually called.
Okay, yeah, no worries. Yeah, do that. So what you're looking at is a handheld particle counter. So I specialize in helping grows maintain proper air quality, proper cleanliness, proper disinfection in order to fight molds and microbes that are in the facility.
Right.
Because if you're failing for testing, you can't sell that product. You
Right.
can grow 50,000 pounds of fire, and if it can't pass a test, you can't sell it. So tools like these,
Right.
like the cool part is the clean room industry is like one of the cleanest industries in the world. Obviously, it's right in the name, right? But there's a lot of what they do that translates really well into fighting a lot of the same mold and microbe issues that cannabis has. So one of the tools that they use is called a particle counter. It measures the amount of particles in
Not
the air.
called a particle counter, but keep going.
Okay, we'll come up with a more creative Star Trekky name as we make it through here, right?
Keep going.
But basically, what it's able to do is measure the volume of particles in the space.
Right.
Particles can be inert dust, particles can be mold spores, they can be pollen, a variety of things. And so what this does is it gives you a round number in real time that you can use to start to measure what you call your particle burden, which is basically like if you think of your air like soup, you want air quality that's closer to chicken broth than
Right.
like Italian wedding soup.
Or Class M planets.
Right, Class M planets, exactly. That's far be it from me to stop
Are you a
it.
turkey?
I'm more of a Star Wars guy, but you know,
I'm
I
a
mean, don't
turkey
hold it
fan,
against
But
me.
you know what a Class M planet is,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely.
All right, good. I'm close. I'm like going through war tribes and tractor beams and phasers here.
Right.
Communicators. I'm getting there. Keep going.
So effectively, you know, if you can measure the quality of your air, you can start to determine like if your hallway is a threat to your flower room, if you have a potential mold outbreak that's in your air, because you definitely want to catch it in the air before you start to see it on surfaces like walls or floors.
It's a tricorder.
Okay, you know,
It's a tricorder.
it's
A
one more
tricorder.
that it's a quad quarter.
It's the tricorder of the cannabis industry.
Okay.
Yes, the tricorder is another important piece of the equipment seen in Star Trek original series. The multifunctional handheld device can be used as a sensor to scan an environment or an individual and record the data and analysis for future stuff. Look, and you're moldy.
You know,
You're moldy as
we're
crazy.
all moldy, dude. That's the crazy part, you
You're
know.
off the
If I'm a
charts here.
mold, I'm like a shroom kind, right?
right.
Like a
This
fungi.
thing's starting to shake.
That's that vibro
I'm a blue
technology in there.
Wonka.
All you have to do is give me a toy, and I'll be in a better mood.
Yeah, well, so
Okay, it's a tricorder.
Yeah.
Tricorder.
but what you can actually measure. So those are micron sizes.
Is it working right now?
I can get it to work. So like
Yes.
it measures 10 microns, 5 microns, 2.5 microns, 1
Right.
micron. So in cannabis cultivation, your smallest particle threat, like a plant pathogen,
Right.
like a mold spore, is 1 micron and larger.
Yeah.
So what I can do is I can actually like press this button on the front here,
Right.
and it's pulling air in through this metal tube. It's running
Right.
it past a laser. It's sizing it. It's counting
We'll
it.
get it away from you because I don't want to go crazy again.
Yeah, right.
Put it over here.
There you go.
Too much mold over here.
Right. So
Hey, be nice.
I'm
This
just
is my
kidding.
new friend.
We all have mold.
yeah, no, we're all
Well,
covered in it.
Yeah.
You guys might be mold. I'm fungi.
You are a fun
Fun guy.
gal.
I'm
That's it.
fungi.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, as long as the fungi is not in the wrong place.
Well, I mean, think about it. Like we actually have on average 10,000
That one slipped
micro.
right by him.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, I was
Sorry.
No,
making
no,
it about
I'm
me
learning.
for a
Keep
second.
going. I
Yeah.
like where you're going. Keep going.
So on the average hand, we have 10,000 microbes per square inch, right?
Yeah.
So that's why it's important to like wash your hands before you like handle anything plant related. Like mold spores can live in the valley of your fingerprint. Right.
Okay.
So like you could stack 10 mold spores on top of each other and not even see over the ridge of your fingerprint. Right. So it's about catching these things like before they become a problem. So one of the tools that's used in clean environments is a particle counter. We also sell air samplers, air purification, what have you.
Air filters.
Yeah, air filters, like supplement. Nice.
Detected.
This is actually a stud detector.
There you go.
But yeah, put over here. I'm the real stud here.
It's a hot producer
Here we go.
director.
There we go.
Skirt, skirt.
You hear it?
Beep, 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 beep. Detected.
Everybody's got to have one of these things.
No, that's
If
awesome.
you don't have one of these and you're grow in America, you are just not cool.
So that is something
Whoa,
somebody can
whoa,
purchase.
Oh no.
You got to take these sounds, man.
I'm telling you, you know what it is? You know what you're detecting? Is you're detecting since I have the goatee on, I'm
Yes.
actually the evil Jason Hadley.
This is the
We want the real one. Bring them back.
Yeah, I'm
sound. What's the sound?
That's also measuring the temperature and humidity
Yes,
because I'm hot as
temperature.
balls over here.
The temperature in your grow is too high. Oh man. Look at
Oh,
I actually feel like it's really making that noise. That's just so cool.
I know. You know what? Like we should get an expansion pack for that you can just kind of add in.
yes.
Just to make it a little bit more fun, you know?
Red outfit too.
Yeah, right. Well, you don't want to wear the red one because they never survive. So
Oh yeah, that's true.
yeah, the red shirt guys are the ones you don't want to.
Usually I just give ideas and run with it. Now I'm threatening you. If you do not add sound effects to this machine, I am going to copy your device. I'm going to add sound effects and I'm going to sell it beyond.
That's so funny.
I am going to put that in the suggestion box at
Yes.
work,
Yeah.
the office.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the greatest thing ever.
No, these are fantastic
This
for.
is like cutting edge stuff.
I'm telling you,
It's fun.
if you can find your problems before you see them,
Right.
you know, you have a huge advantage over getting rid of them versus walking into a room and seeing a big patch of mold and now you're running around with your hair on fire, not knowing what to do. You're pointing fingers at everybody. It's like, honestly, like most of my job is spent like chilling out stressed growers.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because like there's such a, everybody knows how to grow fire, but like, that's right. Oh, no, yeah.
This would be so amazing because I'm a grower myself,
Mhm.
and I personally I don't
Yeah, yeah.
big cultivation grow, but
Right.
I'm walking into my grow room, and I'm like trying to spray Nexium everywhere.
Right. Well, and that's the thing too, is like how to understand how to actually use your disinfectants and stuff like that.
Right.
Like for instance, am I going off? Am I off the chart?
Yes, I think. No, your mold level's down again.
Nice.
Does that happen? I'm just kidding.
He's off the charts.
No, well, I mean, like for instance, like you're spraying chemical cleansers around, right? And if you don't, like, you got to make sure to read your labels because your chemical disinfectants have very specific use instructions. So, like, even on a bottle of Lysol underneath your bathroom sink, if you look at it, it says spray and leave wet for 30 seconds to kill salmonella. But then it also says spray and leave wet for 10 minutes to kill aspergillus. So if it evaporates in 5 minutes, you got to go back and reapply to make sure you meet that contact time. Otherwise, you're not really killing the things that you're trying to kill.
How much are these? Are these expensive?
That's about 4,600.
Okay, I can't afford it.
Well,
But I mean, I have a grow. But if you have a grow, it's
yeah.
not a big deal.
Well, if let me put it this way, it's not. It might be spendy because the price is high, but
Right.
the value of the crop that you lost because you didn't have one is way more expensive and far more emotionally painful than the investment in the proper diagnostics tools. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
This is pretty cool. You should also have like a little button on here once you get the sound
Yeah,
going,
right.
so that people have fun with it while they're using it. Then
So this is just used in the growing process, not after the process, obviously.
No, yeah, I
'cause
mean,
you're-
like,
after the process, you're soiled.
right. I mean, pretty much what you'd want to do is like you'd want to use it in the hallways, you'd want to use it in the flower rooms, in the dry and cure rooms, because what you're measuring is like the overall particle burden, if you will. I think I said before, it's like you want your air to be more of like the particulate level of chicken broth than beef stew, right, or something like that. So that's where like, okay, well, if you determine those types of things, how do you get those particles out? That's where like air filtration comes in. How you want to maybe know what those particles are so you can pull it onto a petri
or
dish,
you get the hell off the planet.
or you get the hell out, you go off planet like lickety split.
You gotta watch some more Star Trek.
I'm telling you, man, I have not gotten into Star Trek in so long. Although the Chris Pine ones are now on Netflix, so
Yeah.
I want to check those out.
This is like old. This is like first generation. No,
Yeah.
this is like the old school Star Trek.
Right.
Jim Kirk Star Trek. That's where they have the tricorder.
Yeah. Right, with the little flip over little
Yeah.
deal. Right. I mean, I was a
What's that?
kid when those came out, but yeah, I remember them well.
If I had a cultivation, man, I would buy those in a second,
Yeah.
just so I could use that during the tour.
Right.
You know?
I go into facilities all the time when I do a walk.
Yeah, but it'd be embarrassing if something pops up on it, right? During a tour.
Well, you don't want to show them how it works in case something goes wrong. But well, maybe you do. I don't know.
Well, you know what I want to do is I set the context with my growers that like, listen, man, I'm here to help. So don't like clean before I come over. I want to see your facility in its natural
Right as
state.
is, yeah.
Because I want to be able
Well,
to
no, the
advise
truth.
you, like, stop, don't be BSing me because I'm here to help. I'm not here to judge,
That's why very few people know about her fungi problem.
right? Well, I mean, hey, listen,
showers
we're in the
before she
inner,
goes
we're in
out.
the inner circle. We're in the inner circle. It's just us. We're family now, right?
You catch what I'm throwing down here. But this, I mean, come on. You have a grow out there. You have a cultivation. Your investors show up, and you have this, and you break out the tricorder, and you walk around and say, "Look, you know what? If things were bad, these would be off the charts, and this would be blinking and stuff. But right now, everything's safe. But it's a pretty cool thing. We just want to show you that we've got the latest technology to make sure everything's on the up and up.
Well, okay,
Right?
so yeah, there's a
Yeah.
couple of things that are going on. Number one, you want to be able to spot like mold problems before
Yeah.
you see them on surfaces. But then here's the other side is that like most of this industry is not prepared for what it would take. Like, let's say you got recalled product and like an end user wanted to try to sue your business. Well, if you're taking regular particle counts in your building and you're taking routine air samples and stuff, you now have you have a legal defense of going like, listen, we maintain quality of our cultivation facility. We have records of it. This is documented. You can take all of this information, you can pull it off the device, you can put it into Excel and slice and dice the information and start to be able to see like, are the particle levels in my hallway higher than in my flower room? And since my flower room is negatively pressured because I'm running CO2, well, then you're just pulling that microbial swingers club of air particles into your grow, which is potentially threatening your flower and
Oh, that's awesome.
ultimately potentially threatening your investment. And we're in the business of making money. You know what I mean? So it's like, if we can spot all of our problems before we see them with the naked eye, like you have a huge advantage over the guy that's not running one of these.
That's like a deep philosophical life.
I know, right?
Well,
Yeah.
Like a major COA.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
when people use these, you encourage them to go like this or like this.
I usually have them hold it straight up in the air.
Straight up
but,
in the air?
I mean, any way you
But
want.
you got to do this now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let me put it this way. Like I tell this story that like when I first got that device, I got in a huge fight with my wife over it.
Right.
Because I was just taking
You're chasing her through the house with
yeah.
Yeah, I would too.
I'm like, come back here and breathe
I'm
on
not his
this.
wife. I'm just kidding.
No,
No,
like let me get a.
well, what happened was I was taking air samples and then I stuck it onto the pillow and I noticed the numbers were jumping even higher than they were in the air.
Really?
And she was like, "But I wash the pillowcases all the time." I'm like, "Right, but
No, you
don't
didn't.
wash the pillows. It's the pillows that are the problem, not the pillowcase." So you can start to do like some detective work on your facility
Yeah.
and like just
I could see you just sitting on your couch playing with that thing.
oh,
dude.
I do all day. Are you
Yep,
kidding me?
yep.
I just plug it
That
in
would
and
be too.
go to town, I mean, or like for instance, if you took like a hit off of a vape while it was running, you'll see the numbers like spike.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That type of thing.
This is for the cannabis industry,
Yeah.
but you could also do this for the mushroom industry.
Oh,
dude.
absolutely. We're definitely working on breaking into the mushroom industry as well because cleanliness there is like absolutely key.
I'll
to-
trade you a Meta membership for one of these.
Oh my God. Well, I mean, you'd have to be.
Can you get it like can you get that the price down on that? Is that guys working on that?
We're working on maybe a little discounting here and there, but
I want to give those out as our swag at MJ Business.
That would be
Saying?
crazy.
I mean, you got to get them down to like $1 or $2, but
unfortunately, probably not so much.
Because
But,
He said this is
the-
49.
the Meta, I know, but the Meta tricorder, that's the coolest thing ever.
I tell you what, I mean, you get what you pay for.
Yeah, I know. I'm just
They
kidding.
do make particle counters they sell on Amazon, but they're
Yeah.
usually not reliable.
No.
They're made with cheaper parts. Like this is
Right.
an FDA compliant device.
Yeah.
So per like regulations, there's a set of regulations in pharma called 21 CFR Part 211,
Mm-hmm.
which won't be on the test. But basically, it says that all of your equipment has to be calibrated, your sensors have to be up to date, you have to be able to produce validation reports, stuff like that. And I mean, it might sound a little overkill for cannabis right now, but as cannabis goes more closer to federal legalization, they're not just going to rewrite everything. The likely bet is they're going to apply standards that are in food and pharma manufacturing.
Right.
Yeah.
Like here in Michigan, for example, like they're considering passing something called 21 CFR 117, which is the Code of Federal Regulations for the manufacturing of human food, which effectively means that at one point, if this passes, then like cannabis facilities will have to run under the same standards as like a cookie and cracker factory.
Which is good. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's helpful because you're producing clean weed, but like,
Yeah.
so the sooner you can jump on that bandwagon and the sooner you can start to get to know those kinds of regulations. I mean, what's the worst that happens? Even if it doesn't pass, what? You're growing cleaner? Oh no. You know what I mean? You're more likely to pass your tests, even though you're not required to apply this. So there's a lot of stuff that these growers can do, like just little minor changes to like their manufacturing processes that, I walk into the facilities and I'm like, hey, it's cool. I love that you're sweeping, but what if every room had its own broom instead of taking that same broom to 3 different places in your facility?
Right.
How about you take your broom at the end of the day and you dunk it in a bucket of disinfectant for 10 minutes and then hang it up to dry before you turn out the lights. And then the next morning when you come in, you got a clean broom.
And
Yep.
this is how we can take care of your fungi problem. We can send them over to inspect you or
I'm
your
done.
house.
Right? We could do a full diagnostics.
Yeah. With the
Oh, that thing will be going off.
the first ever cannabis tricorder. I love it.
Homes are notoriously laden with mold, but in the real world, it's not a problem. It's
Yeah.
because you're growing flypaper that gets you high,
Yeah.
and like the gooey goodness is on the outside of the plant. So
And I think I saw one of these in another industry
Mhm.
somewhere along my lifespan.
porn.
No,
Oh.
no, it wasn't
Oh,
that.
right.
It was something
Oh.
like
What are you
natural
trying to
gas.
detect?
Like the natural gas guys use something like this.
To
And
detect
they
the
detect natural gas,
gas
in the
in
air.
Yeah, I mean, so this is particles. So these are
Yeah.
like physical bodies. What you're talking about, yes, is correct in concept.
Yeah,
They're trying to detect like molecules in air.
right.
So they have like VOC detectors to be able to detect like caustic chemical fumes and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I just play stupid. I know these things.
Oh yeah, I know. I mean, listen, you have to be really smart to play dumb.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it.
But it's still awesome. It's still the first ever cannabis industry.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you want to reach out to me, I post a lot of like microbe control daily tips, like basically taking pharma practices, boil it down to cannabis.
Oh, that's
speak.
helpful.
Yeah. I'm under Dyslexic Stoner 402.
Nice.
Yeah. And,
What's the company website?
the company website is golighthouse.com. And, I also work, we manufacture Filter, which is our commercial air purifier. So if you follow that QR code on my business card, it'll take you right to a demonstration of Filter. I can literally put a particle counter on the intake, put a particle counter on the output, and I can measure that it is removing particles in real time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you can't do that with like a lot of the other types of devices like your AeroClean 420s and your Sanavoxes and stuff like that. So, I mean, like I said, cannabis has the perception, or clean rooms have the perception of being overkill, but you'd be surprised how much like it translates well into maintaining cleaner cannabis facilities.
Well,
That's awesome.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
We appreciate you coming onto our show.
I appreciate you guys.
What's the best way for people to get in touch with you? We got your Instagram, your website, you got email, or
Yeah, I mean, you can email me. My name's Jason Hadley. It's J Hadley, Hadley at golighthouse.com. Hell, give me a call, 818-943-4619. Don't be shy.
I like that.
I have a phone. I'm cool. I pick up the phone. The plants don't know what Saturday is. I'll pick it up. Like try explaining Saturday to a plant, right? Try explaining a flood to Thanksgiving, right?
You, me, and the Mr. Pillow guy. We're not afraid to give our phone number.
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all.
All right. This has been another episode of Meat Unshackled. We appreciate you coming here.
Thanks,
And thank you for letting me play with something. I was in a bad mood, but I got to play with something, so I'm happy.
Glad I can help. I mean,
Thank you.
the After Dark show, I can give you a little something else to play with.
That's our next.
And this only happens at the Flower Expo.
That's our next porn series. I mean,
and Flower Expo.
Our next podcast.
That little device is like a POV cam.
Yeah, that's a whole nother podcast set coming up down the line.
Unshackled After Dark.
Yeah, that would be shackled after dark. All right.
That was another episode of Meet Unshackled.
All right.